I never believed in haunted places, not truly until the night I found the journal buried beneath the floorboards of room 313 at the Briar Hill Psychiatric Ruins, a place I should have never broken into, a place whispered about in the local towns for years, the kind of asylum that didn't just disappear, but was removed, like it had to be erased from memory to stop what festered inside from spreading. And I only went because I was dared, because I was drunk, and because I didn't think reading from the leather-bound, foul-smelling, human-stitched book I found beneath the crumbling linoleum would actually do anything. But the moment I read that first sentence, "She sleeps in the walls, she waits in the bones," everything inside that place changed. The cold got sharper, the air got heavier, and the long, empty corridors that had seemed so lifeless moments before began to breathe, to groan, as if the walls were not made of stone but of suffering. The journal belonged to a man named Dr. Ezra Whitmore, a psychiatrist who once oversaw the ward for untreatable patients in the early 1900s. And what he described wasn't science. It was ritual pages, and pages about voices that came through vents, about patients who woke up with symbols carved into their skin, about a girl named Marion who was never admitted, never had records, but lived in the building longer than anyone remembered, appearing in reflections, pulling staff members into catatonia, always smiling, never blinking. And it was said that if you saw her reflection and she saw you back, your thoughts would never be your own again. I didn't believe it until I heard someone crying from inside the walled-up hydrotherapy room. And when I broke through the rotten door, I found a mirror nailed to the ceiling, dripping red water, and in it, not my reflection, but a pale girl with no eyes, mouth sewn shut with black wire, pointing straight at me. I ran, tried to get out, but the stairwells looped up became down, doors led to the same hallway, and no matter how far I ran, I kept ending up in room 313, where the journal now had new pages written in my handwriting describing things I had done yet. It told of me breaking the lock to the morgue. It told of me finding her crib in the sub-basement. It told of me seeing her face outside my own skin. That's when I started feeling her. At first, she was just behind me, always behind me. A breath on my neck, a click in my ears, a whisper repeating one word over and over. Remember. Then the dreams came. Dreams of drowning in bleach. Dreams of children stitched together, mouth. Dreams of being held down by faceless orderlies, while something black was pushed through my veins. When I woke up, I found puncture marks on my arms and legs, and the bed sheets were covered in symbols drawn in my own blood. I tried to burn the journal. It screamed. I threw it into the furnace. It reappeared on the floor, open to a new page. She's inside now. My voice started to change. People stopped recognizing me. I called my sister and she cried, said she thought I died last year. My social media accounts were all wiped. I didn't exist anymore. I stopped seeing my own face in the mirror instead. I'd see a door opening in the distance behind me, her door, and every time I blinked, it got closer. Eventually, I gave up trying to leave. The building wouldn't let me. I'd walk for hours and find myself standing in the same hallway, the lights getting dimmer, the ceilings dripping black ichor, and the walls whispering in children's voices that weren't quite human. I found old film reels in the records room, dozens of them showing lobotomy procedures. But the patients were all smiling. Already opened, already empty, and in the background of every film, in every frame, was Marion, never aging, never blinking, always watching. One reel had footage of Dr. Whitmore himself, holding the journal, whispering that he'd found her true name, that it couldn't be spoken without giving her access to your soulland just before the film cut out. He said it and screamed as his body turned to ash. I started writing the name without meaning to, in condensation, in the dust, even carved into my skin. I knew I couldn't leave, but she promised I didn't have to not, if I gave her what she needed. She wanted the outside, she wanted faces, she wanted a body, she wanted mine. I tried to resist. I drank bleach. I ripped out my own nails. I stabbed my leg to stay conscious, but it was never enough. The moment I stopped fighting, I'd lose time, wake up in different rooms. Once I woke up in a patient's cell, with the words, "She's so proud of you," scrawled in feces on the walls. Another time I woke up in the sub-basement, where the walls were made of teeth, all chattering in unison. And the crib was there just like the journal, sedaned inside it. A tiny, motionless figure, wrapped in barbed wire, whispering my name in my own voice. Then I found the reflection room, a room covered floor to ceiling in shattered mirrors, each one reflecting a different version of Misam with missing limbs, some with stitched mouths, some laughing, some begging, but all whispering the same phrase, "You are her now." That's when I knew it had happened. I saw her hands where mine should be. I opened my mouth and her laugh came out. I tried to scream but choked on dirt. I haven't been outside in weeks, or maybe I never was. The building is sealed, not with locks, but with intention. Once you're chosen, the world forgets you existed. And I think that's how she spreads, through stories, through words, through the journal, which I buried again, hoping someone else would find it and tell the truth. But that was a mistake. Because if you're hearing this, she knows you now, and she's already inside the mirror behind you.